Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a quick review on a new bino harness from First Lite and FHF Gear. This is called the f.o.b bino harness. This is a great little tool. I really love it and I'm super excited to tell you guys about it today. So before we get into the new stuff, I want to show you what I've been using previous to that, and it's probably similar to what a lot of you guys have been using. Just this standard Vortex binocular harness. I mean, let's face it, it's came with the binoculars and it's decent. There's nothing inherently wrong with it, but it's not super feature rich, and there's definitely some hang-ups with it. Number one, and you can see this is the camo pattern that I wear in the woods. It's First Lite Specter. It's really good stuff. I highly recommend it. But then when you put this on over top of it, it takes away a ton of that camouflage that I have on my chest and replaces it with this brown that doesn't necessarily blend into anything in the woods. Try and match this color up with something out there. You really can't. I mean, trees are way darker. Like it doesn't blend in with anything. And then this big white rectangle. We even think that when it comes to turkey hunting and we have these on, that this white rectangle really can throw them off when they start getting close. So just that part alone made me want to switch and try to get a color that's going to blend in a little bit better. And what better than a matching camouflage bino harness. But beyond that, you know, it opens this direction, which kind of brings it up into your face a little bit to get your binoculars out. Not to mention it doesn't really stay up there. You kind of have to tuck it in a little bit to keep it there. Like I said, it's not the end of the world, but it's just not the greatest bino harness. So I went out and got a new one. So this new one is really slick. I like this thing a lot. As you can see, the camo pattern matches perfectly. It's the same thing. Much smaller rectangle in the middle, much more just darker. It blends in a lot better. It's just a much better looking bino harness, which, you know, for some people maybe doesn't make that much of a difference. For me, I really wanted it to blend in everything, and this one does perfectly. Beyond that, you can see the straps are pretty beefy, which is really nice because this thing does have a lot of attachments that you can buy separately, but you can really deck this thing out to have basically replace your backpack and just have a full chest mounted system, which can be kind of nice because everything is much more accessible on your chest than it is on your back. But with some of that added weight, you got to have some beefier straps. So these are also nice because they have the holes in it, which kind of helps to keep things cool a little bit. And keep it a little bit lighter. So I really do like the strap system that they have on this thing. Some beefier buckles than the previous Vortex model, which is really nice also. I mean, one of the main selling points of this is the operating system. So why it's called the FOB, it's forward operating base. Basically, instead of the other ones opening into your face, this one is magnetic and it opens to the front. So now I can magnetize this thing down and it's going to sit just like this. My binoculars can be right here and I don't have to open this up in my face. Not to mention it's a little bit less movement. On the previous one, when you would bring it up into your face, pull your binoculars out, that's kind of a lot of movement when a deer is going to be in range. This way it's just a very tight little movement down, not a whole lot of flapping around at all. Just right down. And it sits just like that, binoculars right to your face and back, not a whole lot of extra movement, and that's really the main selling point on this thing. So it does come with one little attachment on its own, which is kind of nice, this guy here. I suppose you could put a lot of different things in. It's probably meant for a knife if it fits, otherwise potentially you could put a grunt call in here if it was a little bit on the smaller end. You know, just different things. You could put whatever in here, but it's kind of nice that it comes with that. It also, if I can get this out here, it comes with these little foam pads down on the bottom. So what that allows you to do is get a custom fit with the binoculars that you have. So maybe they're a little bit on the shorter end and you don't want them to fall all the way down to the bottom. You can put this down there and it kind of boosts them up a little bit, brings them closer to the top. There are a few different layers of foam here that you can see. I got 4 different layers here. So if you just need 1 or 2, 3 or 4, whatever you want, you can put that on the bottom. It's kind of a nice little feature to make it customizable to whatever binoculars you have. So with the Vortex binoculars that I have, I really don't want to have this in much at all. They're pretty big, so as you can see, they're just right here, and they fit really, really nice. So beyond those features, there are a few other things. There's a lot of pockets on it. So on the front here, you've got the zippered pocket. It's a little bit tight. You probably can't fit too much like big stuff in there. But if you're hunting in a certain area where you have to have your tags on you at all times, great spot to put your tags in. Should keep them out of the elements for the most part. Or if you just like to keep your tags, even if you don't need to, certainly they can go in there. Plenty of other smaller things. You could probably fit a knife in there. Whatever you really want. It's nice to have that. And then this back part as well, if we peel the straps away, you've got a nice mesh pocket back here. You could easily put your phone in there. Pretty much anything would fit in there just fine. And it's always nice to have a little bit of extra storage on these. And then one of the other main selling points is the system that they have on the side here. So this allows you to have other attachments. So I went ahead and purchased some of the little wings that you can add onto the sides. So these they loop in right here. You put it on the side, and that's going to allow you to have other attachments on top of it, so you can wear it on your chest and then have something else here. So I went with a rangefinder attachment, because previously I had the Vortex Bino harness, as I showed you, and then I had this other rangefinder attachment that came with the rangefinder that I would just have to throw in my pocket or throw in my hand muffs if it was cold enough or whatever. And as you know, that's really not accessible at all. For a rangefinder, you kind of, if you need it, you kind of want to be able to get to it without too much movement. And that's the key with this. So with adding that wing onto the side here, now I can loop this guy in right next to it. And now I have all of that right on my chest. And it's the same thing. It opens towards the front. So it's basically the same thing as the Bino harness. You can bring it right down, not a whole lot of movement, not bring it up into your face. And you can throw your rangefinder in there, and now you can have that right on your chest, so you don't have to go too far to get it. So now as I start to put this thing together, we've got the harness, and now I've got a wing on the side here. So you can see it just kind of loops in to these loops right here that are on the harness with these little clips. And now you've got a wing on this side. And now, as you can see, I've got it all fully attached. So the wing is still on this side, and then this is attached to the wing. So now it's all just right here in one solid chest mounted rig. So now we can put the whole thing together, right? We've got the Bino harness, we've got the rangefinder attachment. They both flip down towards the front, which is perfect. Rangefinder right here, I put it on my right side because I'm right-handed. So most of the time, if a deer is in range, I'm probably going to be holding my bow in my left hand, and then right hand to grab this guy, range him up, bring back to my release. So I put this on the right side. It can go on either side. Binoculars right in here. And then you've got a pretty solid rig with all of your optics very accessible. And then with some of the other pockets that you have, some of the other attachments that you can get, you can have all kinds of stuff right here at the ready, which is a huge advantage rather than having stuff in your backpack. You may not even need a backpack for certain sits, which is really, really great, especially if you don't bring any snacks in or you just need maybe a little bit of water. You can really minimize what you're bringing into the woods and have everything right in front of you, which can be huge. It's going to minimize all kinds of movement in the tree, and really that's the name of the game. So as you can probably tell, I really love this Bino harness. I really love the rangefinder attachment, and I'm super excited to have this out in the woods this year. If you're into First Lite and you already have these patterns, I highly recommend it. It blends in perfectly. It looks exactly the same, and it's a huge improvement over the previous model that I was running. And if you're not into First Lite stuff or you just haven't gotten into it yet, it's still a really, really good Bino harness that you could wear regardless of what other camo patterns you have. Super feature rich. It looks really nice. I really can't recommend it enough. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you've tried out this bino harness or the rangefinder attachment, we would love to know what your thoughts are in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have a ton of great content on there already, and there's only going to be more and more to come. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.